Hey guys, Chef Chris here again from Metropolis Country Club. Hope everybody's starting to feel good. Holidays are over. Hopefully you're all well rested and had a good holiday season. Today we're going to continue with our videos, our series of videos. Today we're going to do another very popular dish that we serve at the club, chicken marsala. You can use any tender pounded meat you like for this dish. Usually it's done with veal, but today we're going to use chicken. Cooking method today is saute, so it's a very quick dish. The ingredients that we'll be using for the dish, we have, since it's saute, it's a high heat cooking method. We'll be using canola oil, minimal amount of canola oil, a little bit of shallots. I have some cooked shiitake mushrooms here. You can use white mushrooms, creminis, oysters, any kind of mushroom you want. I have Marsala wine, a little bit of brown veal stock or brown beef broth. You can buy that in the store. A little bit of butter, some chopped parsley, and some flour. So what we're gonna do is take our boneless, skinless chicken breast. It's been trimmed up pretty nicely. And we're gonna cut it into nice medallions, and then we're gonna pound it. So about an inch thick. And again, you see how I'm holding the knife? Have much more control like this than if you were doing it like this or like this. So try to get comfortable like this. Putting my fingers down, my index finger is my guide, so I move that and I decide how thick or thin I want something. That way things are consistent. If you're doing this, cutting like this, not gonna be the same. And you're not gonna cut yourself. The knife is right up against that finger. The other fingers are tucked behind and hide that thumb. Okay, move your finger, cut. Cut. Normally it's 3 medallions per plate. So we're going to take 3 of our nicest ones. This we're going to put over here for now. Cutting board is going to be taken away as soon as we're done with this cooking method. All the tools will be washed and sanitized. So again, we try to work smart. We got everything else done. And the last thing we did was work with the protein. So we didn't have to contaminate all the stations, our tools, our hands, and then wash up and start again. So just think about what you're doing first. First things first. When you can, do the proteins last. We're gonna take some saran wrap. Put it on the table. How about I told you the last time, don't pick a fight with the saran wrap because you'll never win. Allow a little space so that they can be pounded and they can spread out without touching each other. If you don't cover it, it's going to be very hard to get your chicken or your protein off the board, and your hammer or mallet is going to get full of pounded protein. Nice and easy. This is called scallopini. We try not to break the saran wrap, but guess what? Sometimes it happens, and we move on. First things are going to happen, then breaking your saran wrap. The veal scallopini is normally cut from the leg, so that's kind of tough, so they pound that really thin. This chicken breast is very tender, So we don't have to worry about pounding it so thin. It's going to be tender no matter what. We take off our saran wrap. And again, this can all be done the day before. And then you come and you take 15 minutes and you make your dinner real quick. Do not drive yourself crazy cooking because it's really not that difficult. A little bit of salt and pepper. Now when we did the Parmesan video, I told you that the standard breading procedure, flour, egg, breadcrumb, could be done the day before, could be put in the freezer and kept frozen. This is going to just go in all-purpose flour. So you normally do that right before you're going to put it in the pan. Otherwise it gets sticky and it creates moisture and you're not going to get a nice color, nice saute. Okay? Change these gloves. We have our pan heating up. That way you don't have to watch the pan heating up. You probably have better things to do than that. Nice. Keep everything nice and clean, no contamination. Again, you're going to put about 2 tablespoons of oil in the pan. And you want to use something that's neutral flavored, like canola oil, with a high smoking point. Don't waste your time with extra virgin olive oil. There are no benefits to the dish, and it's just a waste of money. A little bit of canola oil. We want to get that pan almost smoking. And if we can't get everything in the pan at the same time, we'll just do it in parts. So, a little bit of flour, pat it off. This is going to just give us a little bit of even color, nice caramelization, because this is a white protein. Needs a little bit of help. And that flour will also help thicken your sauce. You can use any kind of flour you want. You don't always have to follow the traditional recipe. Use rice flour, use cornstarch. If you're gluten-free, the rice flour, cornstarch is great, potato flour is great. Pan is heating up. Start to see the little shimmering of the oil, which means it's hot. Again, you're going to put the protein or product in the pan away from yourself. So if it splashes on your stove and you don't burn yourself. So just check it out. See that? Little bit more. So lay that right in there. You'll see it's beautiful, nice heat. The flour's going to absorb that oil, so there's a little bit of oil in there. Otherwise, no oil, no color, uneven browning. We can actually get the last one in there. Okay? That's one perfect portion. Look at your meats. The first one that went in the pan might not necessarily be the first one you need to turn. But just pay attention to what's going on in the pan. Check out the size of the meat. That'll start to brown first. That's a good indication that you're going to want to turn it. Follow the recipe, but the recipe is just a guide. You really need to pay attention to what's happening to your pan. My poor wife just cleaned the kitchen today too. She's not going to be happy. But as long as you guys are happy, I'm happy. You're members, she's not. Put some time into it, maintain that temperature. You see they're ready to turn. Again, away from yourself. Brown it on this other side. After the chicken is browned on both sides, we're going to remove it from the pan. We're going to check the amount of fat that's in the pan. We need just a little bit of fat. Saute the shallots. So we're going to throw away some of the fat. Sometimes I have to add fat. We're going to saute the shallots for like 10-15 seconds. Then we're going to add our mushrooms. We're going to deglaze with Marsala wine. Add veal stock or beef broth. A little bit of butter. Cook it to perfection. Finish with parsley. We're going to serve it with rice and broccoli. So I'm going to turn my broccoli on right now. I just blanched the broccoli. I shocked it so it's cold right now. It's green. It's in the pan with a little bit of olive oil, salt, pepper on the fire. And I have some rice in my rice cooker today. Instead of using pasta, I'm going to use rice today. Chicken is nice. I'm going to put it right here. Got way too much fat in there, so we're going to get rid of some because it's going to just make our sauce greasy and it might separate. I'm going to put a little bit of shallots, about a tablespoon, little pinch of salt, little pepper. I like to season throughout the cooking. About 10-15 seconds. Add your mushrooms. You can eat these now, Samantha, they're extra. We have an exact recipe on the website, but when I make these kind of sauces, I use 1 part wine and then I use 2 parts veal stock. I use about a tablespoon of butter per sauce. So the mushrooms are hot. You just want to heat them. Add a little bit of Marsala. Do it off the fire so you don't burn your house down. If a flame does arrive, just be careful and calm down. Cover it with a lid if it gets out of control, and be careful. We're gonna cook that Marsala wine till it's reduced to nothing. There'll be no more wine in the pan. We'll start to hear the mushrooms saute again. And then we'll add our veal stock and our butter. And we will reintroduce the chicken back to the pan in the sauce. Later I'm going to put the rice in this cup and burn it on the plate. So I'm going to just put a little bit of ham in here so it comes out. That was a cafe move, dropping everything all over the place. Give it a little spray. Make the rice from here with a spoon. Start to hear that wine really sizzling. The bubbles are covering the entire bottom of the pan. So you know you're getting to the glazy point. I didn't say lazy, I said glazy. That little saute pan, slopey side. It's like a little boy on the skateboard going up and down the ramp. Broccoli's hot. You can really hear that now. It's telling you, pay attention. Get over here. Starting to re-sizzle. Add the veal stock. I don't want to waste that little bit of veal stock, so I swizzle in a little bit of water. Everybody always says, add the butter last, off the heat. This amount of butter, that amount of sauce. I'm gonna add it now, it's cold butter. It's gonna boil right into the sauce. And when I used to teach, I used to tell my students, they were always taught that the sauce is gonna break and separate if you add the butter in the beginning. Number one, how much butter do you need to add to that sauce? About a tablespoon. If you add a pound, of course the sauce is going to break and separate and be greasy, because how can that little bit of sauce boil into, the butter boil into that little bit of sauce? Okay? Basic cooking techniques. Give it a little taste. You need to taste your food. Season carefully while you're cooking. Again, you're going to see those bubbles get really tight and cover the whole bottom of the pan. You can add the chicken back. This way it cooks all the way through, and it gets reheated at the same time, and it's going to really pick up that flavor of the Marsala. Okay? So we're going to plate that when it's ready. Sauce goes on the top and all around. A little bit of rice, and a little bit of broccoli around for color. How do I know when the sauce is done? I like to check it on the plate. Still watery. So you're going to see the sequence. I used to teach my students this too. How do I know when it's ready? The book says nappe consistency, coats the back of the spoon, but it's thin. This for me is the most reliable way. You see it, it's going to just get thicker and thicker. Bubbles are getting tighter. Sauce is definitely getting a little bit thicker. You see the difference so far? Tasting really good. I think you're gonna like this thing. Look at the difference in that sauce. And then you're always going to add your chopped parsley at the last second. That way it stays green and it's perfumey, like a little tea bag being infused. See the difference in that thing? About another 30 seconds and we are there. Looking good to me. So we're going to put our scallopini. A little bit of parsley. Thicker and richer. Beautiful, beautiful proportion of mushroom to sauce. It's not a swimming pool and it's not dry either. A little bit of mushrooms on the top. Martha,
Yeah.
you think I should do this for a living?
Do what?
Cook.
Yeah.
Finally getting the hang of this. Thanks for bearing with me, guys, for the last 43 years. Little bit of broccoli. How's it look, Samantha?
That's good.
Better than that food we ate at that lousy Italian restaurant at New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, whatever that was. Okay, and there you have it, chicken marsala.